In 1973, Rav Soloveitchik lamented the passivity and the silence, the apathy, what he called the lethargy of the American Jewish community in response to the Holocaust. And he talked about the faults of so many world leaders and so many people in the world not responding to the cries and to the there's no word for it, but to what was going on to the Jewish people at the hands of the Nazis. But then he said how not only does the blame and does the finger get pointed at all these other nations of the world, but that we need to point the finger inwards as well. And he spoke about, and he included himself very deeply and very profoundly in this statement. He wasn't just talking about others, but he himself. He said how the silence, the relative silence of the American Jewish people, not speaking up loudly enough, not protesting loudly enough, not taking enough action, not mobilizing enough, not taking it seriously enough to respond to what was going on. So much so that he actually said that in the al-Chetz, in the list of sins and transgressions that we enumerate and that we describe on Yom Kippur, the day that we take the ultimate accountability and ownership for our shortcomings and our mistakes, he actually suggested that we add one more. He said the al-Chet we should add was al-Chet shechatanu lifanecha, for the sin that we did, that we performed in front of you. B'ra'enu tsaras nafshoseim shel achinu beis Yisrael, in seeing the torture and the pain of the souls of our brothers and sisters of all the Jewish people, shehischananu eleinu, that they cried out to us, velo shamanu, and we didn't listen, we didn't hear their cry, we didn't respond sufficiently to their cry. It seems to me, just from looking and following so many different movements that are taking place and groups that are forming and incredible amounts of dedication that are happening all over the world, from Jews all over the world, dedicating themselves to Am Yisrael, to trying to help the effort in whatever way possible, whether that's financially, whether it's with time, whether it's spiritually, physically, materially, whatever it might be, doing everything they can. It's letters, it's videos, it's moral support, all of those things. It's all happening. Tehillim, etc. There's so much that we're doing that, God forbid, we should never feel that we need to add that sort of al-Chet to our response to the situation. And with all that, I still hear of Soloveitchik's words echoing in my head throughout the day, just trying to remember to make sure that we're not just making ourselves feel better by doing a little bit more and doing a little bit more, but by really doing everything we can, giving money to the maximum amount that we can to the right places, giving of our time to the maximum amount to the right places, giving of our efforts and our energy and our focus and attention. And of course, all this does not mean to the exclusion of living our lives, because that is part of the fight itself, part of the resistance, part of the protest against this, part of the way that we stand back up against the terrorism is by not being demoralized, is by being positive, is by being hopeful, is by being alive in a way that we're still living. And so it's not out of a sense of guilt that I need to do more because I feel guilty if I'm not, and I need to feel broken, and I need to feel down. No, I need to feel positive, but I need to be doing every single thing that I possibly can, so that, God willing, when all of this is over very, very, very soon, Yeshuas Hashem keheref ayin, and we should know the end of this, umacha Hashem dima me'al kol aretz, and we shouldn't know any more of these tears, but we can, when that moment comes, we can look back and feel the opposite of the al-Chet that Rav Soloveitchik added. We can feel the positive vidoy that Rav Soloveitchik talks about elsewhere, where we can look back and say, yes, we did everything we needed to do. The vidoy meiser, biyarti asisi kol ma shetzivisicha, I did everything that Hashem asked of me. In kenasu, that over and over again, that the dedications and the donations to the Mishkan were kein hoser v'daya, it was more than they even needed. Ad blidai, that we should be showering Hashem with tfilos and tehillim and learning and taking whatever we need to take upon ourselves, doing tshuva, and we should be showering the soldiers with support and with all the equipment they need and the funds they need, and we should be giving and giving and giving, that it's spilling over, that we should never ever know or have any sense of feeling that al-Khait from the Holocaust is ever relevant to us. We should learn from the past and be mechazik ourselves to do more and more and more, not out of guilt, not out of falling down, out of positivity, out of believing that we can and we will and we can do more and we can add more from a place of positivity and light and hope.